Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of good signs, a lot of good things. I'm looking on the bright side of life and seeing a lot of positive things. I love seeing the old veterans in the dugout talking to the guys.
Mm-hmm.
The vibes are up, and I'm excited for baseball to actually start. I can't believe it's only 23 days, I think, 22
Ish,
days.
20-ish days.
Yeah, like 3 weeks, give or take. And we're going to have real.
Surgeons of a career in spring training. I know it's spring training. You don't want to really, look at the numbers crazy, but he's having a good shot at spring training. If there's anybody who should make the opening day roster, is definitely Dominic Smith. You see Will Warren looks amazing as well.
Yeah.
Some of the bullpen arms. Max Fried looked awesome in his 2 innings of work yesterday. So I'll toss it over to you, Grace. The first topic we want to talk about, but before we do that, let's shout out the chat. We got Tina in the building. Shout out to Tina. Our good friend Jacob Petruzzi is in the building. James Devour is in the building. Nathaniel Crenshaw. And then we got Theo Nosebleed section. Morning, everyone. Missed not having this show last week. Yes, last week, Thursday, was my travel day. Back and forth. We missed you, Nosebleed section. We missed the chat. Shout out to FL Diver in the building. Steven C is in the building. How you doing? But I'm going to highlight Nosebleed section because we got a question from Theo Nosebleed section, and it's talking about Giancarlo Stanton. So I'm going to key up the graphic. Grace, I'll toss it over to you. Let's start the first question of the day with Theo Nosebleed. What was his question? And let's get your take from it.
All right, so Nosebleed had a question, and I think it's a really good one. Thought-provoking, and Hector, I want to hear your opinion first. I'm going to make you do it first this time. Okay, so you don't have the question up? Okay, let me look up the question. I wanted to read it to you guys so you know exactly. Or did you want me to read the graphic?
No. The graphic, it was just a tweet that I had got for Stanton's update on his elbow. But I have the question right here, right? Was it at? All right, so this is from Theo Nosebleed section.
We're doing great so far.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Okay, here we go.
You can give your answer on the show tomorrow. If Giancarlo Stanton, is out for a long time, would you offer a short-term DH role for any of these three? And that's JD Martinez, Anthony Rizzo, or Alex Verdugo, which I think is a phenomenal question. Thank you, Theo Nosebleed, for sending the question over to Grace. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this going forward. If you guys send us a question, whether it's to me or whether it's to Grace on Twitter, we'll count it as a mailbag portion of the show. But for me, when it comes to those three players, if Giancarlo Stanton is out for a significant long period of time, if he's out for the majority of the season, if he comes back into September, one player that I would key in on that list, it's not Alex Verdugo, right? Is JD Martinez. JD Martinez is a professional hitter. I know he had his ups and downs last year with the Mets. He was dealing with injuries, but he is a professional hitter that you can slot into that DH role. My only apprehension or my only pushback to it is if Giancarlo Stanton comes back and you have JD Martinez on your roster, you're going to just have to cut JD Martinez because he's not a bench piece. He's not a guy that could come in late game situations and play any of the corner outfield spots. He is just a DH, just like Giancarlo Stanton is in his career. So if I was the Yankees, I would look at JD Martinez, especially if Big G is going to miss the majority of the season. But I know with the Yankees, they like to rotate that DH spot, especially at the beginning of the season. You see a lot of Aaron Judge at the DH spot because we know Boone and Cashman, they like to rest Judge in the beginning of the season. If I was the Yankees, I would definitely give JD Martinez a call just to check the water to see where he's out. He's still out. I don't know about Alex Verdugo, and I definitely don't know about Anthony Rizzo, Grace.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you. I didn't expect to totally agree with you, but I do. My big question is, I like the idea of JD Martinez. And again, my big question, to echo what you said, is what do we do with him when Giancarlo Stanton comes back? Now, if Giancarlo Stanton is out for the whole year, like if it was a surgery situation or if the PRP injections don't take very well and they give him a checkup and it's still looking bad and we're going to have to fill that role for the entire year, that it makes all the sense in the world to pick up JD Martinez, in my opinion. But I feel the same way as you do. What do we do with him? He can't help us anywhere else besides DH. If we put him on the roster, we're going to have to release him. And I don't know that they're going to do that because they have so many other options. different style of hitters than Giancarlo Stanton, but still other options to slot into the DH role to help extend the lineup or help, move guys over or bring runs in. Anthony Rizzo, I love Anthony Rizzo. I don't think he can hit anymore. I'm just going to say it flat out. I don't think he can hit anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that. I saw absolutely no signs whatsoever of him hitting at all last year. His defense was hot and cold throughout the season, right? But I didn't see any signs of anything hot coming from his bat at all. I think his hitting days are behind him. So bringing him in to DH is not something that I would even consider. Now, bringing him in to be a coach or to be around for the vibes, sure, I would do that. I love him. But yeah, and we don't need help at first base anymore. So we have Goldschmidt, we have Rice, we have, other people who can play that role now. So I just don't see a fit for him on the team anymore. Alex Verdugo is interesting. He's been posting all that stuff on Instagram. You been seeing that, Hector? Jason Dominguez made missed another fly ball, right? And everybody starts freaking out and everybody's talking about it. And what does Alex Verdugo do? He posts a highlight of his defensive plays in left field for the Yankees. And don't think that was lost on me. That was a little bit
some shade.
A little bit rude. Just a little bit rude to me. But hey, he wants a job. He wants somebody to call him. He's always been kind of a spark plug kind of guy. So is it totally out of character for him to do something like that? No. And I'm sure he didn't mean it hatefully toward Jason Dominguez, but he thought this is a good opportunity while the zeitgeist is talking about left field and defense for me to put out my left field highlight reel, so but with that being said, I don't think that his bat excites me at all either. His defense was great, but his bat is what we're talking about, right? To plug into this hole. And to me, we don't need another lefty bat. And and his bat doesn't even, we thought it was really going to play at Yankee Stadium, and it really didn't overall. So I like Doogie. I like Anthony Rizzo, but respectfully decline. And JD Martinez could work depending on the situation with Giancarlo, but I don't think they're going to make any of those moves.
Yeah, no, I don't think, especially when it comes to Alex Verdugo, because of how bad he looked towards the end of the season, both defensively and offensively. One thing about Verdugo is that everybody thought that his glove would be able to play, regardless if his bat struggled. And last year, towards the end of the season, you saw how much he regressed as a fielder. He was one of the top fielders that we had in the outfield, right? Wasn't saying much because our defense was horrible last year all across the board. But when it comes to Alex Verdugo, he's still young. It's not like Alex Verdugo is 33, 34, 35 years old. And the fact that no other team in Major League Baseball has come knocking on his door is a bit alarming. If I was to put money on it, I would expect Alex Verdugo to sign 2 weeks before the season starts, 3 weeks before the season starts. At some point, he will get signed by a major league team. I just think it's a bit alarming that he hasn't been signed. Yes, it's March 4th. 11:12 in the morning right now, and Alex Verdugo, who is 28 years old, is still a free agent that's out there. Same thing for Anthony Rizzo, which you could expect because he's more seasoned. He's up there in age, the injury factor, but it's just alarming when it comes to Alex Verdugo because his defense always played, regardless wherever he played, whether it was in Boston, whether it was with the Dodgers when he first came up, wherever Alex Verdugo played, his defense always showed up. And again, it's a head scratcher that he's not signed. I want to shout out the chat before we can keep on diving in on this Giancarlo Stanton topic. Shout out to my guy, Nathan Sports Rush. He got a new channel out there. Shout out to Nathan. Our good friend TC Steels is in the building. TC, how you doing, big fella? Hope all is well. He said Verdugo forgot to post all of his soft ground outs as well. That's why I wanted to highlight that. Shout out to TC. Shout out to my guy Keith Saunders in the building. Keith, my guy, what it do? He says, 'Tis the season, Yankee family. Just a few weeks away from another great pinstripe season. Absolutely, Keith. We got to catch some games this year as well. But going back to Giancarlo Stanton, right? Baseball Predict. They put this out there on Twitter. Stanton's season starts with a delay because of elbow tendonitis. Yankee fans, they face a setback as Giancarlo Stanton's elbow tendonitis pushes him to the IL for the 2025 season opener. This prolonged absence could impact the team's early offensive strategy, making it crucial for others to step up at the plate. Keep an eye on power shifts within the roster as the New York Yankees navigate this challenge. And I think the reason why I wanted to put that tweet in the graphic was they said it perfectly. Other people need to step up, right? And I think the number one person who needs to step up to start the season is the captain, number 99, Mr. Aaron Judge. Yankee fans, we sit and we live in a perpetual state of what have you done for me lately? And when it comes to Aaron Judge, the fifth inning of that World Series still plays in the back of our head. It is still a nightmare for Yankee fans. As somebody that I engage on TikTok and have different conversations with different Dodger fans, shout out to my good friend Gabriel. He keeps on reminding me about that fifth inning. He keeps on changing his profile pic on Twitter to that fifth inning when the Yankees were up 5-1 or the Yankees were up 5-0, and then he changes it while we're having a conversation. So shout out Gabe and all you Dodger fans out there that be trolling. But no, that fifth inning, it lives and is permanently burnt into our brain.
Why can't y'all celebrate something that you did? Why can't you change your profile picture to Freddie Freeman hitting a grand slam or Shohei Ohtani, getting that clutch single? Why can't y'all change it to something good that you did? Instead, you have to celebrate the downfall of some other team who let you win. Please, that's pathetic. That's pathetic.
I'm gonna say this. As somebody who's a troll on the internet, I would do the same exact thing. As somebody who's a troll on the internet, I would do the same exact thing. Shout out to my guy Rick. The 2 a.m. crew is in the building. Good morning, Heck, and good morning, Grace. Rick, my guy, how are you? I'm gonna be doing some stuff with Rick very soon, so be on the lookout. He is a Met fan. We're gonna have great conversation. He's a Knick fan as well, but be on the lookout. Shout out to my guy Rick. Shout out to the 2 a.m. crew. Make sure you guys give that channel a subscribe. And also, I want to shout out TC Steele's father, Big Time Jerry. Happy birthday, Big Time Jerry. I hope all is well. Big Time Jerry, he is a staple of the Yankees community. He is in every chat that is out there, whether it's this chat, that chat, the next chat. I just want to say shout out to Big Time Jerry. Happy birthday. TC Stills just put it in the chat. Hector, it's my dad's birthday today. Big Time Jerry. Happy birthday to Big Time Jerry. And of course, my lovely girlfriend with the guidelines, Uptown Sports TV chat guidelines. No hate speech or bullying will be tolerated. If you violate the YouTube terms of services or guidelines, you will be removed from the chat without warning. This is intended to be a safe space. Basically, Sunil, stop your shit before I kick you in the ass. Everybody that's in the chat, my guy Keith Saunders says, can someone enlighten me possibly of Spencer Jones starting at DH? Is he still not ready for big leads at bats? Shout out to my guy Keith, because I wanted to bring it up. When it comes to Spencer Jones, I know a lot of Yankee fans are loving what they're seeing from Spencer Jones, are loving what they're seeing from George Lombard Jr. Guys got to understand, these are two prospects that they still need time to cook in the minors. George Lombard Jr. is a 19-year-old who a lot of scouts say his glove is ready to play at the big league level. His bat, his offensive side of the game still has to clean up. I know he looked nice. 2 home runs this spring training. He had a home run last spring training. I know a lot of Yankee fans are falling in love with that. Let George Lombard Jr. cook. It's just like when you guys put in like ramen noodles in the microwave. You guys take it out 30 seconds before it's cooked. Let the ramen cook. We don't want George Lombard to come up here and be al dente. All right, we want him to be cooked all the way. Let him get his seasoning. Let him get his time in the minor leagues. And when it comes to Spencer Jones, Keith, Spencer Jones has to work out on his strikeout rate. He was a 40% strikeout rate last year at AA. He's never played the game at AAA. Spencer Jones, that strikeout rate has to come down drastically before he even sniffs the big league roster. What about you, Grace?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not even, you know how I feel about that. You know how I feel about that. I think George Lombard Jr. looks great. Very exciting. Yeah, he needs a lot of seasoning. He has the raw talent, and that's what we're seeing, and that's very exciting. But raw talent needs to be shaped and seasoned, and but he'll be up soon. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in consideration next year. In 2026. So, and that's fast. That's super fast.
I was saying it on a TikTok live, Grace. And sorry to just jump in, but when it comes to George Lombard Jr., I could expect him to be a call up 2026, but in September. I know a lot of people was like, oh, he could start. No. He will be a call up, a September call up in 2026, depending on if he hits over 300 and AA this year or AAA this year, wherever they put him, because he was in low A and high A last year. So he'll start the season in AA, work his way up to AAA if he could get to AAA this season. But yeah, I can see him being a September call up for 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he can play third, then there might be a spot open for him next season, depending on what happens this season. So that could factor in as well. Who knows?
Yeah, and I think that's why the Yankees may not be trading for a third baseman that's on the St. Louis Cardinals, who has multiple years left on his contract. That could be a big reason now that the Yankees don't trade for him. But with DJ LeMahieu being injured, we got to talk about DJ LeMahieu, Grace. DJ La Máquina que no está trabajando. Basically, the machine that's not working is DJ LeMahieu, right? When it comes to DJ LeMahieu, he suffered the calf strain. And when it comes to calf strains, when it comes to just the MRI process, as somebody who worked in the OR as a PCT, you have to wait for the swelling to come down before you can have a proper MRI image. That's the only way deep tissue massage imaging work. You have to wait for the swelling to come down in order for him to go inside the MRI machine. And the swelling has not come down from his calf. And I think that is a bad sign. I know some people are saying that they're hoping that it's a minor calf strain, with the swelling still being up, depending on, as of yesterday, they weren't able to do the MRI because of the swelling. If the swelling is still there today and is still present tomorrow, DJ LeMahieu is done. You got to put a fork in him. I listen, all due respect to DJ LeMahieu. He had a phenomenal career, phenomenal Yankee when he was in his prime. Awesome guy. He's probably an awesome human being as well. As a baseball player, somebody that you're relying in a 162-game season to help your team get to the World Series, to help your team get to the postseason, DJ LeMahieu is not it. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic. I don't mean to be rude, but DJ LeMahieu, he just doesn't have it anymore, Grace.
I mean, we love DJ LeMahieu. We made it very clear that he's beloved in that clubhouse. And if you don't think that, you're just wrong. He is extremely beloved by his teammates. He is a nice guy. He's quiet, unassuming, but he is a very nice guy, good teammate. And he was a big contributor in this, era of Yankees games, whatever you want to say, of the Yankees. So to see his downfall has been horrible. It's been painful. It's been devastating. It's been everything you want to say. It's been so unfortunate and sad. But the fact of the matter is, feelings aside, when he is not a part of the mix on this roster, it looks better. And nobody wishes injury on anyone, and it's horrible. However, did you or did you not experience a small amount of relief that, not that he was injured, but that there was that the problem of him on the roster was solved, at least for temporary? I mean, unfortunately, that's just the reality that we all felt. And you never want to be in that position with a player on your team. You never want, ever want to be like, oh, well, now I don't have to make a decision. Thank God I don't have to cut him right now because he's injured, unfortunately, right? And you're pushing the goalpost, right? You're pushing it down. But that's horrible. Nobody should have to live like that, and nobody wants to live like that, and it's awful. But also, nobody wants to hurt DJ's feelings. And I know it's not the Girl Scouts, it's the New York Yankees, right? We're not supposed to worry about feelings, but these guys, they spend their lives together. They're not just coworkers, they're brothers. They they're family, and it's more complicated than that. And so this is a horrible situation. I'm so sorry that he's injured. I'm glad he's not going to be on the roster. I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be insensitive about an injury
Yeah.
or a player. I love DJ LeMahieu, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, this is where we are now. The roster looks better with Peraza on it and Cabrera on it and Dom Smith on it than DJ LeMahieu. I'm sorry. His at bat, Hector, can we talk about it before he got injured?
Go ahead.
The at bat looked so bad. It looked so bad. He looked overmatched. He looked slow. He looked like he was guessing. It was horrible. And then I didn't even see the second at bat. I don't know where I was going to the bathroom or something. I don't know, but I didn't even see the second at bat. When I came back, he was out of the game injured. And I said, "What? He got injured on that at bat?" Well, I heard he had 2 at bats, but I didn't see the second one. But oh my God, horrible. Just sad, really sad. And I know he's got to be so embarrassed, and it just sucks. But
for me, when it comes to DJ LeMahieu, right? And shout out to my guy CK with the $2 super chat, helping us keep the lights on over here at CK. Appreciate you. Shout out to my guy John, NYC Pinstripe Club is in the building. CK has a DJ LeMahieu jersey. But when it comes to DJ, like you said, Grace, you don't pray. You don't watch. Well, no. I will hope we don't watch the game to root for people to get injured. That's a part of the game I don't do. And I know there's fans that like to. I don't. I'm not a part of that fan group, right? But with DJ LeMahieu, I would say not a relief, but it felt like with his injury and everything going around spring training, and everybody thought the Nolan Arenado news and stuff like that. When I was there, and I was on the main field, and DJ LeMahieu was on the backfield, it kind of felt like when you saw Peraza and Oswaldo working at the third base spot, like there was a black cloud that was taken off of the Yankees. If you kind of get what I'm saying.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Maybe really.
And I hate to say that. Yeah, I hate to say it when it comes to DJ LeMahieu, but Kirshner put it out there. Shout out to Chris Kirshner as well, somebody that I'm working on to come on as a guest. I spoke to him, Grace. He said that he's down to come on. So Kirshner, he put it out there, watching DJ LeMahieu's batting practice and seeing DJ LeMahieu with a possible single. And this is the tweet that he put a video out there, and a DJ LeMahieu a line drive, well, not even a line drive, a dribbler that went in between second and first. And he was like, a possible single by DJ LeMahieu. If you're in spring training, and this is not towards Kirshner himself, but just in general, if you're in spring training, and if we're getting excited off of a possible single during batting practice, something is wrong. Something is not adding up.
I saw another podcast talking about that video, and they said DJ LeMahieu, the only batter ever to ground into a double play during batting practice. And I was like, oh shit. Oh.
It sucks, man, because when it comes to DJ LeMahieu, he was one of the cogs in the machine that helped this engine move. Like, he was one of the main focal parts. Like, before Aaron Judge, I know Aaron Judge had that amazing rookie season, but before Aaron Judge got his contract extension, before Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs in the season, there was a lot of question marks about Aaron Judge and his health. Can he stay healthy? Is he actually the real deal, right? And at that time, DJ LeMahieu, most Yankee fans would say they would rather DJ LeMahieu up with runners in scoring position than Aaron Judge for those 2 seasons in 2019 and 2020. Every Yankee fan would have told you they would have rather DJ LeMahieu up. And then DJ LeMahieu get his contract extension. He got hurt, had that surgery, and was never the same.
Yep. He batted leadoff, and he had amazing defense. I mean, he was a huge part of our team. Like, it sucks. It really sucks. You know, but you know, it is what it is. Like, we can't. It sucks. It's just like a farce for him to try to be back healthy, and Aaron Boone to be repeating over and over DJ LeMahieu's healthy. We're having a healthy DJ LeMahieu. He's so healthy. That's all we've been hearing in spring, right? Because we haven't seen hide nor hair of him in any of the lineups yet, right? The first time he gets put in the lineup, the first time, after all we've been hearing is, oh, DJ's so healthy, he's healthy, he's healthy, he's healthy. That's all they've been feeding us. And then he gets injured. It's so sad. It sucks. But it might be a good thing in the long run because it's going to force the Yankees to plug somebody else in, at least temporarily, and face the music.
It could be a blessing in disguise, right? Again, we have over 100 people in the building rocking out with us, over 50 people on YouTube. If you guys can, smack that like button on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 5K subscribers. We are at 4,850 right now, just 150 away from 5K. So hit that subscribe button, help us get there. When it comes to, again, this roller coaster of a third base situation, right? I don't want to point the finger at Brian Cashman like a lot of Yankee fans are doing, because I do think Brian Cashman had a good offseason, right? Bringing in Max Fried, trading for one of the best, if not the best closer in all of Major League Baseball, Devin Williams. There's an argument on who's number one, Class A or Williams. I'd take Williams over Class A because the Yankees, we beat up on Class A whenever we face them. But this offseason, I think Brian Cashman has solid offseason. Yes, is there a big hole at third base? Absolutely. But for me, it just makes the competition between Oswaldo and Peraza so much better. And if you see the play from both of them, I know Oswaldo had an error yesterday, but Peraza, Grace, he has looked amazing. Peraza, if I'm not mistaken, is hitting close to 400, if not over 400 in spring training. His defense looked amazing. When I was on the backfield with watching them take BP drills, not BP drills, infield drills, he made a phenomenal play at third base, literally ran across from me, hit the gate, and I told him in Spanish, I was like, this job is yours. Ese trabajo es tuyo. That job is yours. And he laughed and joked with me. He was like, thank you, Pa. I appreciate that. Oswald Peraza, he has no more option. Peraza has no more options. If he doesn't crack the big league roster, now with an injury with Giancarlo Stanton, most likely DJ LeMahieu will be on the IL to start the season. If he doesn't crack the roster to start opening day, I don't know if that's more on the Yankees or more on him, because he has showed us everything that he needs to do. He's doing it all right. He has done everything properly. He has done everything that he needed to do to win this third base job. And I think if I had to put money on him, the season start, Peraza is our third baseman to start the season.
I wish that they would do that, Hector. I think he's earned the job. I've been watching every spring training game, and I think he looks better than Oswaldo. I love Oswaldo. I'm not saying anything bad about him. But just at just at third base specifically, that's all we're talking about right now. I do think Peraza's defense edges out Oswaldo's defense. And Peraza's bat has looked better than Oswaldo's in spring training as well, in my opinion. He looks so locked in at the plate. He's really, really focused on his situational hitting. If there's somebody on second or third, he's really been focusing on bringing them home, and he's been successful at that. I've noticed that. You can tell he's leaving it all out there, and he wants it so bad. I would give him the job. I don't think Aaron Boone's going to do that. I am starting to prepare myself already right now, because yesterday when they were interviewing Aaron Boone on the game, they were asking about third base. He didn't even mention Peraza until like an afterthought. And I was like, oh shit, I see it. I already see it coming. I already see it coming. I don't know what it is about Aaron Boone and Oswald Peraza that we've been sniffing for years, that he doesn't like him or what is going on. I don't know. That's all speculation, but he deserves that third base starting job. Oswaldo deserves to be our number one utility guy. And that's what I would do. But I don't think that's what Aaron Boone is going to do. But I do think Peraza will make the roster. I think he will be on the roster. I don't think he'll get the starting job. And it sucks because he deserves it. But
I want to shout out my guy Cheesy Soul Cakes in the building. He says, if a Met fan can smack that like button, I know you Yankee fans can definitely smack that like button. Do the same. Show Heck and Grace the love that they deserve. Cheesy Soul Cakes, appreciate you, my guy. Shout out to you. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's as well. Eddie Snaps is in the building. My guy, Anthony Medina, man. Malo de la Isla is in the building. Anthony, how you doing? We got Anna Marie in the building as well. Shout out to Anna Marie. We got the troll from Texas that we don't like. Sunil in the building. Shout out to Sunil. Gregory Wayne is in the building. Shout out to my guy Gregory Wayne. How you doing? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. He says defense first at third base. Peraza, Waldo can still see starts at the hot corner. If I think IMHO. I'm too old to understand.
In my humble opinion, yeah.
In my humble opinion. All right, Grace, I appreciate that for you.
I like that. Yeah, because Oswaldo hits from the left, right? I mean, he does both, but he's really good from the left, and Peraza is obviously a righty. Like, I'm not saying platoon straight up, but yeah, a little bit of a platoon situation. Not a straight up platoon, but I would give Peraza the third base job. And then sub Oswaldo in every once in a while.
Yeah, and to Keith's question, will Luke Weaver be out setup? Luke Weaver is going to be the best setup guy in all of Major League Baseball, right? What makes Luke Weaver so important, what separates him from the other setup guys in baseball, Keith, is that at any given moment, Luke Weaver was a starter. So if Aaron Boone needs him to go multiple innings, if our bullpen is taxed and we need to bridge the game from Luke into Devin Williams for that 7th inning, you can have Luke Weaver pitch the 7th and 8th and pass it over to Devin Williams. That is what makes Luke Weaver so valuable. Now, the only concerns I have with it, yes, that's an ability that he could do is, will Aaron Boone overuse Luke Weaver in that type of role, having him pitch multiple innings day in and day out? And that's something that I want Aaron Boone to manage and control a lot better than he did in the past. But if you look at the Yankees bullpen, it's Cleveland, it's Yankees number 1, and then it's Cleveland as the second best bullpen in baseball. That's how I have the Yankees bullpen rank. When you look at the Yankees, we have so many different arms. You got Devin Williams, you got Luke Weaver, you got Ian Hamilton, you got Cousins, you got Hill, you got Jonathan Loaisiga, who's going to come back in June, maybe July. Maybe he could give you something. So the Yankees, they do have some options coming out that bullpen. We have that lefty Mysterix or whatever his name is from the Atlanta Braves. We signed him to that minor league deal. He was big with the Braves when they went on their World Series run a few years ago as well. So that's a guy that could be an option for us later in the season. I think he started spring training a little bit injured, if I'm not mistaken. But the Yankees, they do have some options for that bullpen. That Yankees bullpen is going to be way better than what we saw last year. And our rotation, I know Luis Hill got injured. It's a perfect segue into the Luis Hill conversation. But this shows Marcus Stroman has some importance in the starting rotation now that the Luis Hill is gone. How important will Marcus Stroman be? I don't know. Grace, you could key it off and lead the conversation with that.
Of course, Marcus Stroman has value. Of course he does. That's why Brian Cashman wasn't going to let him go for pennies on the dollar, plus we're paying part of his salary. Brian Cashman is smarter than that. He was willing to trade Marcus Stroman if another team was willing to give the Yankees back the value that Marcus Stroman has, and we would then, whatever that value assessed was, they would supplement the contract in that scenario. But nobody was a perfect fit, so we held on to him, and guess what? He's super valuable. He is a veteran. He's great in the first half of the season, traditionally. He knows the team. The guys love him, you know. He will benefit from a better infield defense this year and better just defense overall. And he's always healthy. Knock on wood. He's always healthy. So yeah, there's a lot of value to that. He's an innings eater starter that you can throw out there that will get you through games and get you wins. And yeah, he's valuable. So yeah, he's back in the rotation. I'm not sad about it. I like Marcus Stroman. I don't care. I don't care if he's polarizing, and I don't care if he said I'm a starter. He is a starter. He's been a starter in Major League Baseball for 10 years. It's not wild that he said I'm a starter. That is a true statement. So anyway, I got his back, and I'm not even sad that he's still on the team. So
yeah. when it comes to Marcus Stroman, right? And like you said, my guy Keith said, I'm gonna need that on a t-shirt. I'm a starter, right? When it comes, my thing was, what do Yankee fans expect Marcus Stroman to say? Marcus Stroman is a professional. He is a big league player as well. Do you expect him just to lay over and say, yeah, I'm gonna just go to the bullpen. I'm not a starter. Like, one, Marcus Stroman is a starting pitcher. He never pitched out of the bullpen a day in his career, especially at the big league level, right? Secondly, like you said, Grace, he is an innings eater, right? Last year, when Garrett Cole started the season on the IL, one of our number one pitchers that were out there starting for us was Marcus Stroman. It was Marcus Stroman. It was Nestor Cortez, who's in Milwaukee right now, and it was Carlos Rodon also, while we were waiting for Garrett Cole to come back. So now, and Luis Hill as well. So now with the Luis Hill injury, now Marcus Stroman could just slide his way into that rotation. If Marcus Stroman shows you that he has some value as a fifth starter, and he could give you solid innings, 4 or 5 innings of quality starts, the Yankees could use him when Luis Hill comes back, and the Yankees could go to a 6-man rotation if they have to, if Marcus Stroman is still on this roster. My only head scratch is that coming into the season, everybody expected Marcus Stroman on March 4th to be wearing another jersey. Every majority of Yankee fans, I don't want to speak for Grace, so I'm just saying for myself, I, as a Yankee fan, expected Marcus Stroman to be in another jersey. I expected Marcus Stroman to be making starts for another team because of how much and how actively the Yankees were trying to trade him during the offseason. He came into spring training. There was a lot of nothing burger. I think the media made more of noise out of it than what actually was. Marcus Stroman, he dealt with his fire and lost his house, yada, 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 yada. I don't care all about that, right? I did expect Marcus Stroman, if I'm being honest, to be pitching with another team because of how actively the Yankees were trying to trade Marcus Stroman. Yeah. So with that being out the way, with Luis Hill going on the IL, automatically no throwing for 6 weeks, this type of injury, he'll be back possibly June or July is what they're looking at. Marcus Stroman has become so much more important for the New York Yankees going forward. I don't think the Yankees should trade him right now because of the injury, and you never know what happens. Knock on wood, Carlos Rodon could stub his toe tomorrow, and he could be gone for some time. Max Fried, Garrett Cole, the same thing. So you can never put the value of the importance of starting pitching. We have Marcus Stroman. Let's see what we have, and if we could catch lightning in a bottle, so be it.
And Cashman may still move Marcus Stroman. He could move him 2-3 weeks into the season. If the right trade comes up, if the value is there, then I do think Cashman will pull that trigger, but not if it's not there. He's not going to get rid of him just to lower the salary like everybody was saying. Oh, they just want to dump him. No, they don't. Okay? No, they're not going to do that. If they wanted to do that, they could have done that already. I guarantee you. And if you think no team in baseball wants Marcus Stroman, that is a lie. The lie detector test determined that is a lie. Okay, but Cashman will move him if if the Texas Rangers were like, we're going to take Marcus Stroman, we're going to send you Michael Young, right? Michael Young, not Michael Young. Yeah, Josh Young. Oh my God, Josh Young. Hey, if they offer us Michael Young, no.
If they offer us Michael Young, even retired Michael Young, I'll take Michael Young.
Sorry, Josh Young. If they offered us Josh Young, you better believe Marcus Stroman would be sent to Arlington like that, okay?
Yeah.
But they're not going to let him go for nothing because he has value. You have to replace that value with the team. And guess what? His value just went up. Because now we really, really need him, even more than we needed him a couple weeks ago. So will he still get moved? I don't know. Could be. Could happen. But, it's going to make sense for both teams. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, like you said, at some point that
they're not moving him for Nolan Arenado
during the season. They're not moving him for Nolan Arenado. I know a lot of Yankee fans have that on their wish list. Just know this, with the Yankees having DJ LeMahieu injured and that news coming out, the asking price for Nolan Arenado just went up if you're the Cardinals. If you're the and I said this, Grace, a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, the Yankees, I don't want them to act desperate, but they're going to get to a point where they're going to be desperate and the asking price for players are just going to go up. We saw it when the Yankees traded for Harrison Bader, right? What Brian Cashman messed up with was not trading for Pablo Lopez before trading for Harrison Bader. Because when you traded Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader to the St. Louis Cardinals, you were on the phone with the Miami Marlins negotiating a trade for Pablo Lopez. Now, if I'm the Marlins, if I saw, oh, you just traded one of your starters away, oh, now you need an extra starting pitcher, the asking price for Pablo Lopez just went up. And that's how every GM in Major League Baseball is going to operate. And if you're a GM who doesn't operate like that, you should just resign and not get fired because you're not doing your job properly. If you're the GM from the St. Louis Cardinals, you're sitting back. You are in the driving seat of these negotiations. One, Nolan Arenado has a no trade clause. You don't have to trade him. Two, you know the Yankees are desperate because they don't want to go into a season after losing in the World Series with question marks at third base. So you know the Yankees want a third baseman. Now DJ LeMahieu is going to be out for a significant amount of time. If you're the GM of the Cardinals, you're asking, hey, George Lombard Jr. looks good in a Cardinals uniform, right? Can we get that? Spencer Jones. Grace may not like him, but we have some fans in St. Louis that may like Spencer Jones, you know? If Grace don't like him, how about Will Warren? Will Warren, he's a cutie pie from the Midwest, you know? Maybe he would do good over here in St. Louis. The asking price has just gone up for Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, and you heard about all the drama. People were like, oh, Nolan Arenado is coming to play the Yankees. He's riding on a bus 3 hours. He wants to be in front of the Yankees. Remember all this? And I was like, y'all shut up. Will y'all shut up? I was so annoyed. But then what happened? He went over and made an error. He went over with an error. So I think Brian Cashman was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So can we, you're muted, Heck. Can we put that to bed? I mean, can we move on? It's giving, you know what I mean? Try again. You're still muted. Anyway, I think the Pablo Lopez, didn't they want Anthony Volpe in that trade? And there you are. Brian Cashman was like, no.
It was Gleyber Torres that was involved in that trade, and it was a couple of other prospects. I think the asking price after they traded Jordan Montgomery included Anthony Volpe, and that's when Brian Cashman said no. But the original trade was centered around Gleyber Torres going to Miami because they loved Gleyber Torres with the Marlins, and for some reason we didn't make the move, and now Gleyber Torres is not on our team anymore. He's with the Detroit Tigers.
Don't even get me started on all the times we should have traded Gleyber Torres and how he was a thorn in my side until the very last moment of the very last day. Anyway, speaking of thorn in my side and everybody jumping on Gleyber Torres /me, is everybody jumping on Anthony Volpe now? What is going on? I have noticed.
I saw that. Go ahead, Grace. I saw that, and that's something that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I'm like, now that Gleyber, is it like we have to have a punching bag all the time? And now that Gleyber Torres is gone, that we're all just going to jump on picking on Anthony Volpe? I have seen more discourse over Anthony Volpe needs to step it up this year. Anthony Volpe better figure it out. Anthony, just like straight out hate. Like, it's so random to me and weird. Yeah. I'm like, why is everybody mad at Anthony Volpe all of a sudden?
To me, I correlate it to people who defended Gleyber Torres online. Now that he's gone, now it's well, look at this person over here. That's what I kin it to, right? And the arguments make no sense in the world, right? Because when you look at it surface level, right? If I point out Gleyber Torres led the Yankees in errors last year, we could say that's a bad stat. But if I put out there that second behind Gleyber Torres was Anthony Volpe, that's a head scratcher. Like, oh my God, wow, I didn't know that. It's missing context.
Yeah,
Can anybody name me another Yankee outside of Gleyber Torres and Anthony Volpe in the infield that played over 100 games last year for the Yankees?
Yeah,
Anthony
exactly.
Rizzo didn't play. Anthony Rizzo didn't play over 100 games last year for the Yankees at first base. Austin Wells didn't play over 100 games for the New York Yankees as a catcher. So if you were to look at the errors that they made, if you were to extrapolate it for 162 games, they would have more errors than what Anthony Volpe had at shortstop last year for the amount of games he played. So for
100%.
me, I feel it's very lazy reporting. And I feel you're just trying to throw something out there just to throw something out there, and you have no substance in your argument.
I totally agree. Also, shortstop is a harder position objectively, okay? And also, I went ahead and looked it up because I was like, where is this coming from? And I said, let me go look this up before I go on the internet and start. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say Austin Wells played 115 games. My apologies. So it was Glaber, Anthony, and then Austin Wells. Outside of Austin Wells, nobody played more than 100 games. Sorry about that, Grace. Keep cooking.
No, that's good. I said, let me go educate myself before coming here looking ignorant. And I looked it up, and Anthony Volpe last year had the 4th highest fielding run value of all shortstops in Major League Baseball. 4th. Okay, I'm not talking about his offense. I'm not talking about his bat. If you want to talk about that, that's a different conversation. We're talking about the defense specifically, because I heard people literally say exactly what you just said, Hector. Well, he made second most errors on the team next to Gleyber Torres. Well, first of all, define second most. You know what I mean? You could be like, well, somebody had 3 and somebody had 23, but 3 was the second most. So that's like, first of all, you need more context than that, just already period point blank. But then also shortstop, a different position, much harder. And 4th highest fielding run value of all shortstops in Major League Baseball in 2024.
Yeah, I want to break something up. This is his baseball savant page.
And then
I'm going to zoom right here. Go ahead.
And then let me add to what you were saying. Of all the shortstops in Major League Baseball, Anthony Volpe played the most innings. The most innings. 1,400 something innings or something. The most of any shortstop in Major League Baseball. So not only was he out there giving 4th best fielding run value of all shortstops, he was out there every damn day. Every day.
Mm-hmm. Now, Grace, I don't think you or I ever say when it comes to Anthony Volpe's arm strength, Anthony Volpe is the best arm in Major League Baseball. I don't think that ever came out of my mouth. I don't think that ever came out of your mouth. But when you look at his fielding, he is in the 97th percentile in fielding. How can you say he is a bad fielder or would be one of the worst fielders in our infield when he is in the 97th percentile in fielding for his position? That makes no one. You're lacking substance. Yeah. 2, it's a very lazy argument.
I agree. I don't know where these people are coming from. It's so weird. It is so weird. And to say that Anthony Volpe had bad defense last year is just a blanket incorrect statement. I just proved to you that it was an incorrect statement. I don't understand. Also, he was the only one holding down the infield because Anthony Rizzo was in and out. Oswaldo Cabrera was in and out. DJ LeMahieu was in and out. Gleyber Torres should have been in and out. I mean, the infield defense was on skates last year, except for Anthony Volpe. Like, how dare you throw him under the bus after he's literally single-handedly been holding down the infield defense for 2 years? Like, I don't get it. I feel like it's wild to me. Of all the things that I'm concerned about with the 2025 Yankees, Anthony Volpe's defense is actually the last thing that I'm concerned about.
I have a question, Grace. Off the top of your head, if we were doing a top 15, I'm going to say, hold on, top 25. I'm going to just do top 25 of the shortstop in Major League Baseball. Errors, right? If number 1, you had the most errors at your position is number 1. Where do you think Anthony Volpe is on that list from 1 to 25? Folks in the chat, let us know as well. Where do you think Anthony Volpe ranks 1 to 25, 1 being the worst fielder at the shortstop position of the 25 shortstop that played over 120 games? Where does Anthony Volpe rank? Where do you think he ranks?
So you're saying the higher
One's
the
number
number.
one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
one's number one is the worst fielder. So 25 would be the best fielder. Where do you think he
I'm
ranks?
gonna guess 17.
He's 12th. He was the 12th worst fielding shortstop in Major League Baseball. Do you want me to read off some names that were worse than him fielding wise, that had more errors than Anthony Volpe? I'm going to read some names. Ellie De La Cruz had 29 errors, was the worst fielding shortstop in 2024. O'Neal Cruz from the Pittsburgh Pirates had 26 errors. That's why they're moving him to the outfield. Number 3, Gunnar Henderson, who people are saying they wish was a Yankee shortstop. He was third on the list with 25 errors. Willie Adames, who just signed the big bag with the San Francisco Giants, he had 20. He was the 4th worst fielding shortstop. Jeremy Pena from Houston, rookie of the he was the rookie that helped them win the World Series. 19th, 5th. 6th, Gleyber Torres. Fielder, worst fielder. Gleyber Torres.
Oh, okay. So this is not just shortstops. This is
No, well, it's
all
not just shortstop. It's just second base and shortstop. Mason Wynn from St. Louis had 18. Zach Neto from the LA Angels had 18. Trey Turner from the Philadelphia Phillies, he had 17. CJ Abrams from the Washington Nationals, he had 17. Isaac Paredes, who was more of a third baseman than anything else, he had 16. And then you had Anthony Volpe with 16. With a higher fielding percentage than everybody else that I mentioned on that list.
Let me tell you something. Francisco Lindor, right, who arguably had an MVP level year last year, right?
Yeah.
You can make the argument that he had an MVP level year. He had a 12 fielding run value, and Anthony Volpe had a 10. Okay? He's one of the shortstops that ranked above him at the end of the year. It was Francisco Lindor, Bobby Witt Jr., Ellie De La Cruz, and then Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
So get off me.
Yeah, and shout out to my guy Ace who said it perfectly. Shout out to the Ace Avenue. If you guys aren't following my man Ace, you guys got to check your life choices. But Ace says Volpe is a victim of his own success because he got the Gold Glove early. People expect him to get it. To get everything. Everyone makes errors. Absolutely. And because he had that 2020 season, because he won a Gold Glove in his rookie year, there was a lot of expectations put on Anthony Volpe. I thought last year version of Anthony Volpe, even though he didn't have 20 home runs like he did in his rookie year, he was a better version last year than what he was his rookie year. You see Anthony Volpe makes the adjustments. I look at that World Series and how he played in that World Series as Anthony Volpe's coming out party. I don't expect Anthony Volpe to be an all-star this year, but I do expect Anthony Volpe to be a better player than he was his rookie year and his sophomore year. Now, is there an argument that we need Anthony Volpe to step up? We need Anthony Volpe to do da-da-da-da. Yes, but you can make that argument for everyone. You can make that argument for Austin Wells. You can make that argument for Jason Dominguez. You can make that argument for Will Warren. Any young Yankee that is on that team, you can make that argument for them because we understand the Yankees outside of Cody Bellinger, outside of Paul Goldschmidt, they didn't make a big splash free agent wise when it comes to their lineup, right? So you bring in Cody Bellinger, you bring in Paul Goldschmidt with the expectations that these young kids need to step up and they need to step up properly.
I was just looking up Anthony Volpe's on-base streak that he went on last year. And lest everybody forget, he was on a list with records of Joe DiMaggio, this kid, okay? 34 games in a row he got on base. I think, I don't know if he went past 34 or if the 34, I was trying to look it up really quick because he was passing Alex Rodriguez and getting up there with Joe DiMaggio on these lists that the Yes
on the
Network
on-base
was
streak,
throwing.
yeah,
on the on-base streak that he broke last year. I mean, he made strides in different ways last year. Now, hopefully, obviously, we say this about every player every year. You can build on last year, right? Put it together and improve your game year over year, right? But I just find it disgusting to complain about a kid who came up early with virtually no AAA experience, held down the infield by himself for 2 years, won a Gold Glove, and was the hero of Game 4 in the World Series, right? And did all these things for us and played every game. Played through whatever he was playing through, just like all players do. Hasn't missed. And you're complaining about him. Like, do better.
Hey Grace, let's play a fun game. Let's play the rotation of first basemen that the Yankees had in 2024. Boy. Anthony Rizzo. How many games did Anthony Rizzo play for the New York Yankees at first base last year? Grace, how many would you say off the top of your head?
65.
92. 92 games. Okay. Anthony Rizzo played for the New York Yankees at first base last year. Second on that list was DJ LeMahieu. Do you know how many games DJ LeMahieu played at first base last year?
I don't know.
67. DJ LeMahieu played 67 games last year for the New York Yankees at first base. And then outside of DJ LeMahieu, you had Ben Arrocon Habichuela Rice. Yeah. Ben Rice played 50 games at first base. And then the Yankees, they had J.D. Davis play 7 games at first base. And then they had John Birdie play 3 games at first base. Can you guys, can y'all name, and I brought that list up because Eddie put it in the chat. The first basemen we had last year were inexperienced and couldn't handle Volpe throws. So can anybody point to me the Gold Glover that played Gold Glove defense at first base last year? Because it can't be Anthony Rizzo, who lost his hand-to-eye coordination. Can't be Rizzo. It can't be DJ LeMahieu, who was statistically the worst fielder that he ever was last year in the season. It wasn't Ben Rice. As much as I love Ben Rice is not a Gold Glove at first base. Neither is J.D. Davis or John Birdie. So when people say that Anthony Volpe is a horrible fielder, they are missing the context of the conversation. And a part of the context of the conversation is you had Anthony Volpe, Gleyber Torres, and Austin Wells were the only 3 infielders that played over 100 games for the New York Yankees last year. Jazz Chisholm didn't play 100 games for the New York Yankees at third base last year.
Right.
I just went through the list of first basemen. We had a revolving door of first basemen. Everybody was damn near lucky to be on a major league roster. Every one of those guys that I just mentioned right now, outside of DJ LeMahieu, are not on a major league roster. Where is Anthony Rizzo? Where is J.D. Davis? John Birdie just got signed to a team.
Yeah. Exactly. And Giancarlo Stanton sacrificed both elbows for these people. I was just thinking, because they said Giancarlo was going through this last year. I know that Big G was like, this, my elbows hurt like a bitch. But this is my chance to win the World Series. He went out there every day in immense amounts of pain and was hitting nukes at every level of the postseason, carrying us, leaving it quite literally all on the field for his teammates and for the fans. And he ruined his elbows doing it. But there was no way he was coming out of the game because he thought, I'm towards the end of my career. I'm in the World Series. This is my chance for a ring. And he left it all out there. Yeah. I just know that that's what happened. And I hate that we lost. It sucks.
I hate it too as well, Grace. But this is the one thing I've been telling Yankee fans, especially when I'm having these conversations on TikTok. Make sure you guys are following over there, Uptown Sports TV on TikTok. What is more important for Giancarlo Stanton? Hitting home runs in April and in May, or being healthy and hitting home runs in October? What is more important for the New York Yankees?
100% Stantober.
Stantober. If we could just get Giancarlo Stanton to October, let him take September to figure it out. Let him go over whatever he got to in September. But when Giancarlo Stanton locks in and he focuses in October, that's when he's dangerous. My only caveat to that, Grace, is the Yankees wasted the magic of Giancarlo Stanton.
I know, that's what breaks my heart.
That's the only thing that holds me up, or what makes me have reservations, is that we've seen the magic from Giancarlo Stanton. It's run out. because we could get to the postseason and Aaron Judge can finally figure it out and turn it on and hit over 350, 300, 400. Will Giancarlo Stanton still be the magical Giancarlo Stanton that he has been in the postseason? And that's what I fear the Yankees wasted on him, because he had a great run last year. He had a great run a few seasons before. My only concerns is that the Yankees wasted all of the magic out of Giancarlo Stanton because we waited too long to get back to the World Series or get back to the postseason.
I wouldn't be surprised if this conversation happened in some capacity. The doctor is like, Giancarlo, if you keep playing, you're going to be out next season for months. And Giancarlo says, we ride at dawn.
We ride at dawn.
Yeah, because my team needs me and we're in the World Series. I wouldn't be surprised if some form of that conversation happened. And Giancarlo is such a beast that he just played through it and was on fire.
And I just want to say also, because I saw a lot of people speculating and just this is where the clickbait starts to get on my nerves. A lot of people with the whole retirement, with the fake retirement rumors, and is Giancarlo Stanton going to retire? I tell you guys right now, when that was going on, when I was down at the Yankees minor league at the Yankees spring training, my last day on Wednesday, with all these videos and stuff coming out, Brian Hoke, Kirshner, Gary Phillips, they were all laughing at it because none of that was a conversation at spring training. Nobody was Giancarlo. There was no rumors about Giancarlo Stanton retiring, nothing like that. It's just fans speculating, and it's just news outlets who report more TMZ wise than anything else. And I never try to attack other people or tell other people how to make content. But as a Yankee fan and as a Yankee content creator, you have to be more respectful and conscious with the decisions that you make, right? Giancarlo Stanton is dealing with something personal at the moment, and it doesn't serve us any good. Like, we don't get anything good out of this if we just pow on top of Giancarlo Stanton, especially with just random ass baseless rumors that have no weight in facts or no weight in go. Giancarlo Stanton is not retiring. Everybody that was saying he's retiring, retract his statements. He's not retiring. Now, if he comes out that he retires and I look stupid, I'll be the first person to admit that I was wrong on it. But from when I was at Yankee spring training, that was not a conversation that was happening. And if it was a conversation, people were laughing at it in 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. The CBC would never allow him to retire with $60 million or however many millions of dollars still left on the table. That would be a horrible setback for the guaranteed contracts that the baseball players union had negotiated up to this point, and he would be ostracized by the entire baseball community if he did that. It would just be unprecedented and crazy. It's one thing to retire early if you got like $6 million left or something, but when you have so much left, it's not going to happen. There's implications across the league for something like that. And Giancarlo is not going to do that. Yeah.
100% agree. Like Stephen B just put it in chat, Stanton wouldn't walk away from the money. People who say that can kick rocks and they are living on the rock. Absolutely, Stephen B, right? And just want to switch gears with the conversation just momentarily. We got a couple more topics to talk about. I know we touched it very briefly, but Luis Hill, right? With the news coming out that he was diagnosed with a high-grade right lat strain, according to Aaron Boone, Luis Hill would not throw for at least 6 weeks. And what's alarming to me, this is the same injury that Clark Schmidt had, right? Granted, Clark Schmidt started the season and he came back in September. So if we're going off for the same timeline, Luis Hill may come back end of June, early July, maybe, but the thing with a starting pitcher is when this type of injury happens, they have to restart spring training all over again. Their throwing programs, they have to start from scratch, and he has to build himself back up before he's able to be in that starting rotation. And I think when it comes to Luis Hill, just keep it in your mind, September. Just put in your mind, August, September. Don't expect Luis Hill to come back before August of September. If he does, it's a blessing. If he doesn't, it is what it is. Yankees going to have to pivot and make some moves, but I wouldn't expect him back until at least August, at late September.
Right. It's one of those things where they say 6 weeks, but that just means they're going to reassess it in 6 weeks, not he's coming back in 6 weeks, right? So it could end up being like that, Hector. And if it does, we'll be fine. We will be okay. Yeah. We have Stroman, we have Will Warren, we have some other depth as well. We can always make a trade, like if we need to. We're going to be fine. This is not, it could have been much worse news, okay? So yeah, it sucks. It's not great. It's not ideal. But I think this is also a result of a long season last year where the guys tried to win a World Series. Luis Hill, we entered into the season thinking he was going to be on an innings limit because he was coming off of Tommy John surgery. And maybe he should have been on one. We were all saying, please don't put him on an innings limit because we need him to pitch. Well, what happened? We went all the way to the World Series. We had a long season, and it wears down a team. It wears on everybody. So they say we're bringing Austin Wells back a little bit later. Everybody freaks out. Let them do that. They say we're bringing Aaron Judge in a little bit later. Everybody freaks out. Let them do that. Let them do that, because there are plenty of teams out there that suffer the World Series hangover. And it doesn't matter if you won or lost, okay? Some teams go to the World Series and then the next year they miss the playoffs entirely. Not because the team all of a sudden forgot how to play baseball, but because they got so injured because they played so long and they left it all on the field. It's just like what I was saying about Giancarlo, playing through things. I guarantee you Luis Hill pitched probably too many innings last year on a recovering Tommy John surgery. But he did it because he wanted to win the World Series. He did it for us. We can at least give him the grace to recover as a fan base, as a thank you for what Giancarlo did, for what Aaron Judge did. And I know how he was in the postseason, but Aaron Judge got us there. And what Austin Wells did, and what Anthony Volpe did. They all deserve a little bit of grace from us. And my name is Grace, so I'm willing to sacrifice on this game.
What's funny is that when you bring up Austin Wells and Yankee fans or people speculating on he hasn't played, he's resting, and how people make it a big deal of that. I was when the Yankees were doing BP, right? They had that BP in the backfields. It was Anthony Volpe, Jazz Chisholm, Aaron Judge, Austin Wells, and DJ LeMahieu. So I'm right there behind Aaron Judge and Austin Wells, like with my camera. I'm behind the gate. And you hear Austin Wells asking Judge, like, oh, so who's next after Volpe or whatever? And Judge is like, oh, you could go next. And as Austin walks by, Judge is like, yeah, because you're resting, right? So they're having fun with it as well. Just know that my guy Tim English said, you guys are on the optimistic train today. You can pay a guy $200 million and not have him contribute to make it to the postseason where he can ball out. I think he's talking about Giancarlo Stanton. That's not what I was saying, Tim. I was saying when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, not to rush him back. Right. And that was my question. What is more important for the New York Yankees? Is it more important for Giancarlo Stanton to hit home runs in the middle of July or June? Or is it more important and more advantageous for the New York Yankees to have Giancarlo Stanton in October hitting home runs? That was the point I was making. Absolutely. If you're paying a guy $200 million, $300 million, $400 million, you want him to contribute in the regular season to get you to the postseason. I understand that. But what I was saying is, what is more important for the New York Yankees? Giancarlo Stanton hitting home runs in the middle of April, May, June, or July, or Giancarlo Stanton being healthy, hitting home runs in October? And I think for me, it's in October, not to rush him back, because you could rush him back and he could come back and he could hit home runs in May and June, and then he could get injured and not be ready for the postseason. That's the only thing I was pointing out.
Exactly. I mean, look, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. There you go.
But here, it is what it is. We are where we are. They have Giancarlo Stanton on the team with the full no trade clause, okay? So it's pointless and a waste of time to look back and say, oh, Cashman shouldn't have done this. Well, he did. He did it, and Giancarlo's here. So sit with it. Figure it out. And if we have to navigate through what we have to navigate through, we just have to do it. Or else stop watching the Yankees and stop being a fan, because this is what it is. This is the situation we're in. So either, I mean, I don't know what to say.
No,
What do
I'm
you know
right
about
there.
it?
I'm right there with you, Grace. And last topic before, well, two more before we get out of here. I just want to touch on Dominic Smith. Dom Smith, and he has 7 RBIs and 13 at-bats during spring training.
What a
He could be a
story.
good option. He's a great story to get at least some bats at the DH spot while Stanton is on the injured list. He has a lefty swing. You saw how it plays in George M. Steinbrenner Field. He could play in Yankee Stadium. I'm not saying Dom Smith is the comeback player of 2025, but you could catch lightning in the bottle. And if Dom Smith can give you something from the left-hand side of the plate as a DH for that first month, 2 months of the season until we figure something out, why not? Why not roll the dice and see what you have with Dominic Smith?
Yeah, he's cheap, and you don't have to trade anybody to get him. I mean, this really ended up kind of working out a little bit. He does look good in the DH role. I'm not certain that I want him necessarily to be the full-time DH till Giancarlo gets back, but I do see some value there, and it costs us nothing to give him a spring training invite, right? So far, it's been working out. Hey, Hector, who is the guy who was the Uber driver they've been talking about? Is that Escara?
Yeah, that's JC Escara. JC Escara was the one that was an Uber driver at one time. JC Escara also, if you guys follow the Dominican Lindom series during Winter Ball, he won the batting title in that series. That same series that had the prospect from the prospect from the Rays that hit the home run and everybody losing their mind about. Yeah, that guy.
He's good. He looks good to me.
From the left-hand side of the plate too. Defensively, JC Escara has always been a guy defensively that people said could play at the major league level. It was always his bat, and in these past two years in the minor leagues, he has developed into a very solid hitter. I'm not saying he's going to come and win a batting title for the Yankees, but I think that's good confidence coming off the Lindom series, winning the batting title in that series. It has top competition in that series as well. I mean, in that series, in that league, I think JC Escara with Austin Wells and with Ben Rice, the Yankees have something cooking with that 3-man catcher platoon.
I agree. I've been really impressed with what I've been seeing from him in spring training. The vibes just overall seem way up. I was watching a podcast, Corey Kluber's podcast. Garrett Cole was on it. And, I love my daddy Cole, so I had to watch it. But he was talking about how the vibes are so focused already into spring training, but everybody is super hungry, even hungrier than last year, going to the World Series and getting humiliating yourselves, because that's what happened. The Dodgers did not humiliate us. We humiliated ourselves. Let's get that straight. It was a singular way to lose the World Series that stung and inspired not only change, but resolve to enter into the season with something to prove, a big chip on their shoulder. And that's what Garrett Cole said about the team. And I see that coming through. I see chips on shoulders. I see focus. I see people playing for the guy behind him. Cody Bellinger looks awesome. Goldie looks great too. I was surprised by how much I've enjoyed watching Goldie. I think there's a lot to look forward to. Jason Dominguez's defense has been looking better, you have to admit. I'm not sure if they're going to leave him in left or move him to center. I know there's been some talk about maybe the left field experiment should be over and they should move him back to center. I don't know. But there's a lot to look forward to. It's going to be a different style of ball this year, and I'm excited to see that. So I still think that we're the favorites to win the AL East. And even if not, we'll definitely get, I shouldn't say definitely because anything can happen, but we should at least get a wild card, make the postseason where anything can happen. If Giancarlo is back healthy, if Luis Hill is back healthy, if Loaizaga is back healthy, then everybody is on notice because this team is out to prove something.
Yeah, I just got to say, folks, we have over 125 people watching us collectively across all platforms. On YouTube, we're sitting at 43 people watching us. We got up to 52. We're sitting at 33 likes on YouTube. If you guys can, smack that like button. Let's try to run the likes to get it up to 50 as close as we can. Just hold on. I just got a message here. I got to close it out. Yes. My guy Keith just said, I just finished watching that, Grace, right before y'all show, and it was Grace.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. And one more thing, you talk about getting hungry. I'm getting hungry over here. Keith says it's free pancakes at IHOP. Happy International Pancake Day for everybody out there. Guys, make sure you guys go to IHOP, get your free pancakes. We love free pancakes over here.
Today's show is sponsored by.
Today's show is sponsored by free pancakes, right? But talking about Jason Dominguez in left field, and I know a lot of people saying, oh, we need to put him in center field. No. Stick him in left field and keep him in left field. And I'll tell you right. I'll tell you why. No shot at Jason Dominguez as a person or his intelligence as a human being, anything like that. Baseball IQ, when it comes to baseball IQ, I don't think Jason Dominguez has the highest baseball IQ. Talent-wise, Jason Dominguez, his talent jumps off the page. He has speed. His bat to ball, it sounds amazing during BP. That's all fine and dandy. Seeing him in left field, you can tell the baseball IQ, it's not there. He needs to learn it some more. When you're a center fielder, specifically while I was down there seeing how the Yankees conduct things, when you're a center fielder, you are the captain of the outfield, right? You are the captain of the outfield. You get to call off the right fielder. You get to call off the left fielder. If Jason Dominguez is having issues with baseball IQ and left field, do you guys really trust Jason Dominguez right now in late game situations, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, extra innings? If there's a ball in the gap, you guys trust Jason Dominguez to call off Aaron Judge in a crucial spot? You guys trust Jason Dominguez to call off Cody Bellinger in a crucial spot? As of right now, the stage that he is in his career, I think that's putting too much pressure on Jason Dominguez. Move him to left field. Let him focus on being a left fielder, learning how to be a left fielder, and let Cody Bellinger be the captain of the outfield. Let Cody Bellinger call off Jason Dominguez. Let Cody Bellinger call off Aaron Judge. Because when you look at the three outfielders, Bellinger, Judge, and Dominguez, who is the most superior out of the three of them? It's Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is a more elite defender than Judge and Jason Dominguez. So I trust Cody Bellinger as being the outfield captain, late game situations, calling off the rookie Jason Dominguez, calling off the captain and the veteran Aaron Judge. So if I had it, let Jason Dominguez play left field, let him learn left field. If you have to move him in the future to center field, you do that in the future. Right now, his baseball IQ is not up there that I can trust him late game situations, calling off Aaron Judge or Cody Bellinger, if that makes any sense in the world.
Yeah, I like that point, actually. I want y'all to know that Hector made a video about Jason Dominguez making errors in left field, and I ignored him in our private text message thread. And I was like, I'm not talking to you anymore, and I did not say what did I? I did not say one where I was like this. I was like, I'm not even gonna say anything.
I just thought it was funny as hell.
No, you should have known better than to send that to me.
For context, so everybody know, I was playing MLB The Show, right? And it was the Yankees versus the Cardinals, and a ball was hit to Jason Dominguez, and he dived for it, and it hit off of his glove. I'm sorry, Grace, it's not me, it's the video game that did it.
Like, I'm done with you. I'm not even gonna say a word. Anyway, so let me ask you this. Now go with me here, y'all. Go with me. I just put my heart out there, okay? Let me just listen to me. I'm not saying Jason Dominguez is Juan Soto. Okay, I'm not saying that. I am not saying that. Okay. Mm-hmm. However, what I'm going to say is Juan Soto's defense sucked ass. Okay? Am I wrong?
Mm-mm.
Juan Soto's defense sucked ass. Not only in regular season, but in the postseason. I don't know how he was nominated for a Gold Glove. That's neither here nor there. It's because the right field's so small. But anyway, it's actually, well, the reason he was nominated for a Gold Glove is because so many people ran on his ass, ran through first base, that they ended up getting thrown out at second. But it's because they had a green light to run on his ass because he sucked. And that's why he got so many saves or whatever at second base. But it's because he sucked. But anyway, I digress. If Jason Dominguez can offer us 30 stolen bags, which is easy work for him, okay? Juan Soto could never offer us 30 stolen bags, okay? So I'm offering you some different value here, okay? 30 stolen bags, let's say 20 home runs. That's being conservative, okay? Let's say 20 home runs, 30 stolen bags with subpar defense in left field. Now, Juan Soto gave us 40 home runs, like 5 stolen bags maybe. I don't even know how many stolen bags he had, but like his base running sucked. So like, but he gave us 40 home runs, right? I can almost guarantee you that by the middle of the season, if Jason Dominguez is in the starting lineup, which I think he will be, he'll be hitting leadoff. So he'll be hitting leadoff. He'll give us 20 bombs and 30 stolen bags with subpar left field defense. Can we just let it go? Can we just let it go? Because nobody said boo about Juan Soto's defense in right field last year because he was contributing in other ways. Jason Dominguez has that same ability. He will contribute to the team in other ways. He's not Juan Soto, okay? He's Jason Dominguez. But he will contribute. Is it that big of a deal? Can we just let it go? Can we just let him grow and learn and get better and look the other way when a couple of errors happen here or there because of what he brings to the team? Or are we going to freak out about this all year and get in this kid's head so bad that he looks like Aaron Hicks by the time we're done with him?
I'm right with you with the Aaron Hicks comparison, because one thing, right? And when Aaron Judge was coming up as a prospect, one thing that allowed Aaron Judge to turn into the legendary great player that we're seeing right now, Grace, did you hear any hype about Aaron Judge when he was coming up? Did you hear Aaron Judge going to be the next Dave Winfield? No. Did you hear Aaron Judge going to be the next this person right here, this Hall of Famer that's not playing? You didn't hear anything about Aaron Judge. And I think that helped and allowed Aaron Judge to turn into the player that he is today. Yes, his talent has to be a part of it as well, his work ethic as well also. I'm not saying that doesn't go into it as well. But the Yankee hype train was not behind Aaron Judge the same way it was behind Gary Sanchez at one point, because Alex Rodriguez was in spring training hyping up Gary Sanchez as the next Manny Ramirez for a couple of seasons in a row. Gary Sanchez never lived up to the hype, right? Mm-hmm. There was no hype behind Aaron Judge the way there was behind Clint Frazier, who was a top 15 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. Everybody said, oh, he has legendary bat speed. He has the bat speed of Josh Donaldson. He's a legend in the making. Never lived up to the hype, right? Luis Severino, everybody kept saying he's the next Pedro Martinez, just like Devi Garcia that kept saying was the next Pedro Martinez. So I think when it comes to this Yankees hype train, and I bring this up to say that, allow the players just to be the players and to develop into what they're going to be. Stop labeling George Lombard Jr. as the next Alex Rodriguez or the next great Yankee third baseman. That may not happen. So bring down your expectations, allow these players to just become who they are. The same thing with Anthony Volpe, the same thing with Jason Dominguez. Stop putting all these unwarranted and unnecessary expectations on young kids who you never know what they're going to turn out and what they're going to turn into. Just let them be themselves and let them develop as they should develop. That's all I got to say when it comes to that. And the last video I want to play, Grace, don't get mad at me, but this was that video that Grace was talking about with Jason Dominguez. So I have to play it.
So I was playing MLB The Show.
I do not endorse
this. Even in the game, Jason Dominguez can't play left field. I mean, you cannot make this shit up. Even in MLB The Show, he can't play left field.
Okay, it was a funny ha ha, right? I'm sorry, I apologize. But last thing before we get out of here, Grace, first and foremost, one, I missed you from being in Florida and stuff like that. I know we didn't have the show on Thursday, but we will be doing the show this Thursday, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Yankees Morning Brew. We will be back. Damien shot us a message and said he will be back as well. He had his things that he had to figure out behind the scenes, but Damien will be back as well. My man Eddie Snaps just put in the chat, and I'm dying laughing. Hold on, where's it at? He said, remember when Melky was bad defensively when he first came up? Yeah. Do you remember? I remember the first game that Melky Cabrera played in the major leagues. And it was in 2005 against the Boston Red Sox in Fenway Park. And there was The bases were loaded. There was a ball hit straight to him, a line drive. He dove for the ball. He missed it and went behind him all the way to the wall, and it was an inside the park home run. And everybody, oh, this is the worst defensive outfielder, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Melky was a part of the 2009 team that won a championship. Melky, his career turned out whatever. But give these kids some time to develop. Grace, any last words for the people before we get out of here?
Yeah. There was a play in left where Jason didn't make the catch, that he picked it up and he gunned the guy down and he got the out. And at the end of the day, he got the out. So why is everybody screaming? I mean, yeah, it wasn't ideal, but just let y'all. It's gonna be a long year.
Back. I'm getting
a long year.
I will be getting MLB the show 25. Guys, make sure you guys follow me on TikTok. It's Uptown Sports TV on TikTok. I will be doing a lot of gaming streams on TikTok and YouTube. I'm working out the Stream Labs or Ustream, whatever it's called. But yeah, make sure you guys are following. I will be doing some MLB the show gaming streams, some Resident Evil, Final Fantasy. Make sure you guys tune in. And who knows, maybe Grace and I will be playing Fortnite together. If we could get her a PlayStation so she can figure it out.
Yeah, I don't do I play Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo. So
Not the Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Grace, last words before you get out of here, because Ace said you guys are lucky you guys aren't together on set. Grace would have threw a chancleta at you. Yeah, she definitely would have.
First of all, I don't have chanclas on. I got cowboy boots on. you better run. This shit will take you out. But I can get him off real quick. No more bad talking Jason Dominguez around here.
No, none whatsoever. Grace, last words for the chat before we get out of here.
Last words for the chat. Devin Williams is going to be it. Thank you. Devin Williams is playing tonight. Can't wait to see him. I'm sure he's got the 7-day growth or whatever going on. But I'm so excited to see him in the Yankees uniform, throwing the ball. I mean, it's very exciting. So only a couple more weeks, y'all. I mean, it's getting down to it.
Yeah, it's getting down. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. I plan on trying to go to the game on the 30th. Not open today specifically, but on the 30th, I plan on being there. I plan on being also at the Arizona Diamondbacks series that like 3 days that they're playing at the stadium, working for Latino Sports. I look forward to this upcoming baseball season. I look forward to doing this baseball season with you, Grace, with you guys in the chat, with Damien as well. We will be having the open panels. We will be bringing back the open panels. We're going to do it a little bit different, TikTok, YouTube, but the open panels will be coming back. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for the late night open panel conversations. But again, until next time, make sure you guys say something nice about yourself. Drink your water. Like my guy Jimmy Randazzo loves to say, hug your girlfriends, not your prospect.
That's right.
Until next time, shout out to Nathaniel Crenshaw. We got Keith Saunders in the building. We got the Ace Avenue. We got Slim Lewis in the building. Shout out to Slim Lewis in the building. Appreciate you. Yeah, Keith said, Grace is so Texas. Laughing my ass off. Not the boots. Yeah.
New York on the top, Texas on the bottom, baby.
Shout out to my brother Keith. That's my guy. I know me and Keith. No, I'm definitely clipping that. Me and Keith, we go back before YouTube. So shout out to my brother Keith. I hope all is well with you, my guy. Anna Marie as well. Love you, Anna Marie. Ty Davis was in the building. Nathaniel Crenshaw, like I said, one of the only Dodger fans that are in this chat every time we are live. We appreciate you, Nathaniel Crenshaw. The Ace Avenue, my guy. I look forward to doing a lot of cross streams with Ace. Ace, let me know if you need me opening day. I'm purposely throwing my hat in the ring. If you don't want me, copy. I won't feel offended. But if you want me opening day, you can count me in. My guy A. Becker is in the building. Shout out to A. Becker. Stephen B. as well. Nosebleed section. Theo Nosebleed section. And, of course, our good friend Tim English. And like Jimmy says, hug your girlfriends, not your prospect. Drink some water. Say something positive about yourself. And until next time, I'm Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
This is Yankees Morning Brew. And we will see you on the rebound. Deuces.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.